I'm Dr. Benu. In IoT concepts and applications, the fourth unit is open platforms and programming. The second topic in the fourth unit is Raspberry Pi architecture. Raspberry Pi was launched in 2012 and they have several versions as well as several variations are released from the year. All versions consist of Broadcom system on a chip, three system on chip with an integrated ARM compatible CPU and on-chip graphics processing unit, that is GPU. The original device had a single core processor with a speed of 700 MHz to 1.2 GHz and a memory range from 256 MB to 1 GB RAM. To store the operating system and the program memory, secure digital codes are used. That is, in order to store the operating system and the program memory, SD codes are used. Raspbian operating system, which is a Linux operating system, is a recommended operating system by Raspberry Pi. Some other third-party operating systems like RISC operating system, Pi, Diet Pi, Kali, Linux also can be run on Raspberry Pi. It also provides a set of general purpose input output pins, allowing you to control electronics components for physical computing and explore the IoT. It is a low cost packet computer that is very economical. It is about the size of ATM card size. It can operate as a computer in certain normal cases like working with simple applications, playing low-end games, etc. An operating system is an interface between the hardware of a machine and the user who is using it. Meaning, an operating system is a software program that helps us to use and to connect with the computer hardware. Mostly, Raspberry Pi officially recommends the use of Raspbian operating system. It is a Debian-based OS explicitly made for Raspberry Pi and hence its name Raspbian. The architecture of Raspberry Pi, it consists of several blocks. They are 40-pin GPIO, camera, RAM, ROM, microprocessor, power supply, HDMI port, a 3.5 mm audio video jack, dual USB slot, Ethernet port, SD card slot, camera module, as well as LED. This is the view of Raspberry Pi. Specifications of computer. It has a quad-core ARM processor that doesn't support the same instruction as in 8086 desktop CPU. It has 1 GB of RAM, one HDMI port, four USB port, one Ethernet connection, micro SD slot for storage, one combined 3.5 mm audio video port, and a Bluetooth connection. General purpose I/O pins. These pins are used to connect the Raspberry Pi to electronic components. One Ethernet port is there. The Raspberry Pi also has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth built in for wireless connections, two USB 3 and two USB 2 ports, audio video jack, camera module port, HDMI port, USB power port, external display port, and micro SD card slot, which is normally underside the board. Raspberry Pi defined as a mini computer with the size of credit card. The measures of Raspberry Pi 4 with the size of 85.6 mm cross 56.5 mm or 2.22 inches cross 3.37 inches. It consists of hardware, some operating system, which is used for some applications based upon the user's need. We can use the Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi runs on Linux operating system. It supports Python. Linux is a Unix-like open source and a community-developed OS for computers, servers, mainframes, mobile devices, and embedded devices. It's built-in functionality of a product that comes directly from the vendor. Out-of-the-box features and functionalities are available for all the users by default and do not require any customization, modification, configuration, scripting, add-ons, modules, third-party tools, or additional fees in order to use it. Raspbian. Raspbian is nothing but Raspberry Pi OS. Is a Linux-based operating system built specifically for Raspberry Pi. It is packed with all the necessary tools and features that are required for day-to-day use. It will possibly run on every kinds of Raspberry Pi board with a few exceptions, like the Raspberry Pi Pico edition because it's for smaller form factor and computing power. What is NetBeans News? New out of the box software. It is an operating system installer for Raspberry Pi delivered primarily on SD card, which contains variety of OS, out of which we can choose which one we want to install on our Raspberry Pi. It is made up of people who are absolutely new to Raspberry Pi and do not want to deal with complex settings, setting up process of burning an OS image on the SD card. An interpreter language is a programming language whose implementations execute instruction directly and freely without previously compiling a program into machine language instructions. Python is an interpreted language, which means source code of a Python program is converted into bytecode that is then executed by the Python virtual machine. Python is different from major compiled languages such as C, C++, as Python code is not required to be built and linked like a code for these languages. Linux on Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi supports various flavors of Linux, including Raspbian, Arch, Fedora, RaspBMC, OpenELSA, RISC OS. These are the commands frequently used in Raspberry. Raspberry Pi interfaces. These are used for connecting sensors and actuators. It has serial, SPI, I2C interfaces for data transfer. I2C is nothing but interconnected circuits, which is allow you to connect the hardware modules. I2C interface allows synchronous data transfer with just two pins SDA and SC. What is one way SPI? Serial Peripheral Interface. There are 5 pins on Raspberry Pi for SPI: MISO master in slave out, MOSI master out slave in, SEK serial clock, CE not chip enable 0, CE1 chip enable 1. We can this is the example program for interfacing LED and switch with the Raspberry Pi. There are varieties of Raspberry Pi models are there. Raspberry Pi 1 to 4. There is generally a model A and model B. Model A is less expensive variant and it tends to have reduced RAM and dual cores such as USB and Ethernet. These are the various Raspberry Pi models and its years. Pi 1 model B 2012, Pi 1 model A 2013, Pi 1 model B plus 2014, Pi 1 model A plus 2014 to Pi 4 model 2019. Thank you.